Hey!
Hello everyone. I am awake. I am.
Oh,
Honestly.
you're awake?
I'm awake.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
very much awake.
Yeah, and this is the last show from the ground, live from Awwwards in Berlin, conference about design trends, digital thinking, I guess, web design,
The meaning of
UX,
life.
and the meaning of life. Okay, that we will cover definitely during this hour.
Absolutely.
We will answer this question: what is the meaning of life? And I'm very happy to end this lineup with Vitaly.
Yay! I'm awake. I'm
Yeah.
awake.
He didn't recognize me. He's like, "Oh, Michael, you
No.
have a beard
You
now,
changed so much.
short hair. Who are you?"
Yeah, you did change.
Yeah, I mean,
last time we met, like maybe it was 2-3 years ago.
yeah, and the first time I think we did this interview for this digital magazine I had, Appliness.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
you made the cover.
Yes.
You were in the
No,
nature. I remember.
it looked beautiful. I still have these photos.
Yeah, it was a
They look
beautiful
very
photo.
suspicious. now.
Like a
They do.
spy. You were like a spy.
Yeah, they're like I'm in the water and stuff.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
So
I still
yeah.
remember it.
So
But now
we
everything
had
is different.
a lot of lives, I would say, in the
Yes.
past, and now we're here together in Berlin. Thanks for watching again, live on behance.net/live. So we will be live with Vitaly for 1 hour, and after we will switch to the main stage. It's the first time we're doing that, to have Koivin. He works for Adobe. He used to be a designer also for the New York Times, so he has a lot of
I
stories
heard
to
something
share.
interesting is coming up
Yeah?
in his talk.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm
I'm not
wrong.
aware. I don't know what he's talking
Well,
about, so I'm
Even
excited.
I know, so I have my sources.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. You're the spy, that's why.
I try my
you're
best
the
here.
spy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be live from the stage. So yeah, stay tuned, be active in the chat. We do some giveaways
Questions.
as usual.
We like
Ask
these
questions. And yeah, so Vitaly, maybe you
Yes.
want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Vitaly, and I'm co-founded one of those little blogs back in the
Yeah.
day, 2000. It was early September 2006, which was
2006,
called
wow.
2006. It was
Wow.
12 years ago now.
Yeah.
Smashing Magazine, and it's an online magazine for designers and developers. Not so important, but what's important is that it brought me to this wonderful world that we're living in, where I got to meet, and I was privileged to get to meet so many wonderful people and designers and developers and everything in between, and experience what people have been working on for many years, so in designing and building and open sourcing and everything. And
Yeah,
I was
and,
really, really privileged to do that.
And if you look at the web in 2006 and the web today, like it's a night and day. Like every month there were a new technology, new challenges, and that's also how I discovered Smashing Magazine. It was like facing all these new challenges with all these browsers and HTML5 coming along, and every time there was an article or a solution on Smashing. Like it was the place
because
to
the
be.
thing is, I was essentially freelancing for 6 or 7 years before that.
Okay.
You know, I was young and I needed the money.
Yeah.
And so I started doing the freelancing work and the web design work, and then it turned out that the things that were important to me in my work, I thought maybe they will be interesting for other people as well. And this is how the blog started.
Mhm.
And then, like, look at us here 12 years later, standing
Yeah.
right here. And there is, I mean,
Always
there's
talking
so
about
many things happened over these 12 years. It's
Yeah.
just impossible to mention them all.
Oh,
So it's incredible.
this is awesome. Yeah, and you remember Flash? You remember?
It was good
Yeah,
times.
remember? Yeah.
Who misses Flash? If you miss Flash, please write it in
Yeah.
the chat.
Yeah. I miss Flash.
I miss
I
the
started with Flash, so
creative side of
Yeah.
Flash, not necessarily the performance side of it,
no.
but I like the. Oh, you see, some people actually do miss Flash.
Yeah, that's good. And we have people from Pakistan. Whoa, awesome.
That's still
Thanks
missing
for watching.
Flash.
Yeah, still missing Flash. Yeah,
Yes,
this
so
is good. Flash forever. They're like,
Well,
okay, Robert.
maybe not forever.
That's nice. That's nice.
Forever is not going to work anymore, I think.
And Brigitte, she misses Flash too. Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's cool.
yeah. But I was actually, you know, I remember I actually was designing a few sites and the Shockwave and Flash and all the stuff, and I even built a site, and I hope that it's going to be a big success. And I earned exactly €0 anything from
Zero,
it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but you know, now
But you
things
had
are a
fun.
bit more interesting. We have nice shiny tools,
Yeah.
nice shiny technologies.
Okay.
We have, I think we have a very different mentality when it comes to design. I think we managed to formalize a lot. We managed to get to the point where we turned every single thing that we're doing, be it, you know, search engine optimization or design or prototyping, into science, and that's a good thing. But the same thing, I find it difficult for many newcomers
Okay.
to actually find their way to this industry.
Ah, okay.
It has
so
become a bit more less accessible, I think.
I agree,
in a way.
and we have a lot of newcomers in the chat actually, like asking advice, like to Lance. So yeah, so maybe if you can help them a little bit, give some tips some advice.
So the thing is, like, this has been like in general this year for me has been, or the last year I would say, it's been a lot of thinking about what the next generation would do. And because we see many conferences with the same speakers speaking, we see many projects which involve the same developers. And it feels like the next generation that is coming after us needs some sort of more profound education in things that matter. And I think that we have a lot of conversation about trends and what is supposed to be cool and how to, introduce some sort of parallax effect and here and there. And all of this is nice to have, but I think we need to have a more profound education in terms of this is what problem solving is all about. And this is how we can approach it. And I think that many people are struggling just because whenever you enter this industry, it's like tons of acronyms just being thrown at you.
Yeah, nice stuff.
Right? And you have to make sense of it. And it's not just about, doing a bit of CSS and HTML. Now you're supposed to be familiar with JavaScript and familiar with Webpack and code splitting and tree shaking and performance stuff and accessibility stuff and progressive web apps and service workers and so on and so forth. And so we need some sort of this is at least what I'm hoping to create at some point, some sort of academy, school, something that would be helpful for newcomers. In front-end and
that's
design.
a big
If anybody else, and this is why I also support projects like this. There are a few. There is one in Porto, the new digital school, and there is also one called Projector in Ukraine. And they're just really nice people doing really great work because they believe in pretty much they share the same values that I do. So I really care about it.
Awesome. It's an awesome project.
I think so.
So yeah, I wanted to ask you because Vitaly is also a speaker.
I like speaking. I speak too much.
Yeah, but like on stage, I mean, it's good to speak, but you also speak on stage and conference. So I was asking you, like, if you have a presentation, something you would like to share with the Behance community. So yeah, that would be great.
So I want to inspire.
Yeah, let's inspire.
All right. So I want to share a few things which I strongly believe are important, and there are a couple of issues related to it, but I want to focus on the visual part at first. And it kind of has to deal with the way of how many of managers or people that we work with tend to perceive creative process. And I think in many ways, it doesn't matter if you're a developer, designer, or anything in between, we are often seen as being kind of following this iterative linear process where we just iterate, and then we're done at some point. I think that most of the time, we just explore and diverge. And we and
then you choose one direction.
Exactly. And we always try to find that option that works. And it might be a technique, or it might be some sort of a solution that you just found and you're really, really happy about. But then you might end up with this, some kind of a dead end, and you have to reroute and find another way. And this is where we're losing time. And this is why I think we tend to rely on things that used to work in the past. And this is kind of the thing that I believe we are going to kind of fix this year, because being generic is not going to cut it anymore. I strongly believe that if we want to be interesting or remain relevant in a way, we need to kind of stand out. And I would even go further, saying that when we look at who we are, maybe our personality isn't particularly great. Maybe we're quirky. Maybe we do mistakes. Maybe we're not perfect. Maybe we have a strange style in music, in whatever, anything else. But we should reflect that personality in the experiences we create, be it apps or be it designs. Because if I look on most apps, they feel similar, but not only because they follow the same material design or so, but they don't have any soul. That's I think a very fundamental thing. And we end up creating these sterile products which do not have life. They serve a purpose, and I get that. And very often they're supposed to do just that. But I think that it's also important to have some sort of personality to stand out. And so when I look at this screenshot here by John, who said, like, which of these two possible websites are you currently designing? Because, there are only two websites on the internet. There's one on the left and one on the right. And I think that if we want to break out, it's really kind of an issue of going away from tweaking things one by one. If we look at the evolution of toolbar, I'm not trying to be.
I recognize this toolbar.
Yes, and that's a good thing. And we tend to use patterns that used to work in the past. That's great. But at the same time, I think we need to really maybe stop and think. Okay, we're looking into improving this toolbar on a local scope, like improving pixels by pixels, improving shadows, improving icons, and so on. But what if we thought about, maybe we should rethink it altogether. What if we, instead of doing continuously A/B testing to improve that button or that shadow on the button or that text on the button, which is all important, what if we try to do something different. Like this is what Espen Brunborg, a designer from Norway, calls AZ testing. Instead of going and saying, okay, button, 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 let's find that optimal button, let's try to set up not only A/B testing, but also create
different experience.
very different experience and test this experience.
Okay.
And this is kind of what we tried to achieve with Smashing when we did the relaunch. And I don't want to be like Smashing is awesome and so on,
No,
but we had to
interesting
find
to
that
share the process.
thing, that personality that would define us.
Okay.
And that was an important process for me. I'm going to skip a few things here. It was an important process for me because the way that I perceived the magazine has never been. The magazine wasn't perceived this way, and so let me see if I have it here somewhere. Yeah. So when we started talking to people about like, so how do you see Smashing and what do you connect it with? I always wanted to be, standing behind something respectable, something professional, something profound in a way. That's what I wanted to create from day one.
That's the vision.
That was kind of the vision. But then when we started running interviews, people were talking about cats instead. So imagine you ask, so what do you connect Smashing with? And people would say, friendly, informal, open-minded, things like that. And they would say cats. And I never wanted my legacy to be cats. I'm not a cat person. I don't even like cats. I'm not a cat person, right? But when we started the first conference, and this is there's a reason why I bring it up now.
Yeah.
When we started the first conference, we had no idea what we're going to do. We're going to have more conferences or not. And our illustrator, who now dreams in cats, I think at this point, because he had to design so many, he just thought, let's just have a mascot and cat and, well, let's see how it goes. And so we ended up over these years, because cats and Smashing conferences are an important product for us every year. We have to promote it, and so people are connecting us with cats.
And the conferences are all around the world?
Yeah, so we have them, London and New York and San Francisco and Barcelona and in our hometown Germany. And I can't see them anymore. I seriously can't.
Tired.
But I asked myself, so
cats.
if we want to embed a personality, right? It's not about the mascot, it's about the voice and tone, right? But we need to find that signature, that voice that would define us. And so I thought, it's either go all in or don't go at all. So at the end, we ended up with 72 cats or so, now scattered all over the sites. And there are literally like many of those cats.
Wow.
And they're everywhere. And in fact, we have this challenge: if somebody finds all of them, they're going to get a fancy prize.
Oh,
you will not find them. Don't even try. Some people actually write machine learning tools
to detect the cats?
To detect all the cats based on the face recognition. You will not find them all because they're hidden as ASCII and hidden in print style sheets. So good luck.
Giving some clues.
Good luck. But the
How
reason
many cats?
72 at this point.
Okay.
But the reason why I bring it up is because I want to show maybe just one bit about the process that we followed, which was very important to me.
Okay.
Which was text-based design first in a way. Let me go back. When we started, at least personally, I started looking into the component-based design first. Yeah. So we had some sort of a vision of where we want to go, but we actually broke it down into components, which looked like one of the first prototypes looked like this. Right, and then very quickly we moved away towards error messages. And I know that it sounds weird, and it might look a bit strange here outside of the context of the site. But for me, it was important to set up the frame set or mindset about where all these components would live and how. And so the wording, the copy, the interface, the text,
the tone.
the tone was the fundamental thing there. And that was also, of course, kind of correlated to the fact that we had to deal with cats somehow. But we had to create this holistic experience that would be very unique to us. And so I found that error messages could be a nice gateway to really connect with the customer.
Okay.
So if you design an error message in a way that you can make somebody smile or emotional or connect to you somehow at the point where they're disappointed or annoyed when something goes wrong.
It can kill the frustration.
Right?
If they are frustrated, at least if they have a smile, say, okay.
Exactly. You kind of turn
almost you want to generate errors after.
Yes,
maybe,
and actually I specifically try to add some humanity to our interfaces.
Okay.
Due to our interface. And in the same way, I think that this is something that's missing sometimes. Make some mistakes for the sake of having a mistake, just showing your personality. It doesn't have to be 100% bulletproof and proofread to the point that every single comma is right. I think we need to reflect who we are, and we are not perfect, and that's great. We should just embrace it. And of course, it's not just about this cats and this stuff. And this is what we use as a gateway to then start looking into the typeface, and the quirkiness of the typeface reflects the voice and tone. And personally, this is Aaron. It's a beautiful typeface,
Beautiful.
and this is the headings typeface. And I really not a big fan of it. Just if you look at the A,
Yeah, but
this is a very interesting A.
it's
let me put it this way.
cartoonish almost. Yeah,
Yes,
reminds
but
me of
exactly.
old
But I-
cartoons. Yeah, I mean that.
But I think that it's kind of conveys that personality that we actually have.
But yeah,
Right, and then this is how it all evolved. And if you look around,
do you see a cat when you look at this A?
yes, I see cats
You see
everywhere.
cats everywhere now. Yeah.
I think like there is no day that passes by without me seeing at least 5 cats or so. And then just another thing, just a simple hint here, that was important for us to define that signature, is not to say let's do something crazy and totally out of space. If you look at websites that exist out there, let me just show you one example, which I think is just remarkable. It's just really remarkable. I don't know if the video is being streamed as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah,
So
it
if you
is.
look into it, can you imagine just for a second just how much effort
Wow.
and time needs to go into creating something like this?
Wow.
And it all has to be responsive as well. That's a remarkable effort, and this should be in a museum somewhere, right?
What was the
but-
agency behind this?
I don't know.
Remember?
This is the one
Oh.
by Arte TV, which is a TV channel.
Arte, yeah.
And they financed
it's,
it.
French
And
and
it's
German.
dedicated to Dada art, like a homage to Dada art. It's a
Wow.
remarkable website.
It's
But the
amazing.
thing is, we couldn't afford creating something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, let's say, I don't know, 3,000 articles
Yeah.
or so on the site. We can't just go ahead and create this for every single article or for the website in general. And it's just
Wow.
really incredible, right? So we couldn't pull that off. And I'm not saying that every website should have
Yeah.
this unique thing, and nobody can pull it off. So for us, it was about finding something that would be more subtle and simple.
Okay.
And that has become, and that's the last thing I want to say about this, the logo that we have. It was tilted by 10.6 degrees from day one.
Yeah.
No, well, not from day one.
I mean,
Quite early on. We didn't have a logo in the beginning at all. And then we thought, okay, so what if we made this our signature? So we redesigned it, moving away from 10.6 to 11 degrees. Big step for us. Was a big step for us. And then we started playing with layouts like this, where this angle, the angle alone,
the angle is
would
in
become
the,
that
is in the
signature.
layout.
right? And then
Yeah,
we played
even
with
here when you justify.
yes.
Hmm.
We would play with animations and would play with border radius at some point, which was also 11 pixels. And we kind of started looking into this quirkiness of being tilted a little bit. And it kind of has become, if we look at the style guide that we then developed as well,
Oh, nice.
it has become kind of our signature. Because it's all component based, it was quite of relatively
Oh,
easy
even
to
the
set it
social
up.
sharing, like
Yeah.
everything is
So
tilted.
everything had to be tilted. And again, I'm not saying that, let's go overboard and parallax and all of this stuff. But just find one little thing that would define who you are.
Yeah.
Maybe even weird or so, and just make it your signature,
Wow.
right? And there are tons of examples I can show. I don't know how much time we have.
No, we have
Um,
time. We have time.
Because in the end, even things like a
Still
form,
have
the form
like
that we have
35 minutes together.
here. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I just really want to convey this
Wow.
idea. Even the form is tilted by default. And of
That's
course,
so
when you
funny.
start tapping or tilts,
Ah.
it untilts. And
Yeah, I
on
was like, how
mobile,
do you process
it's
the
not
font?
tilted.
Okay.
right? But this
That's
tilting
good.
has become our thing. And there are many, many, many examples of what you could do. And I just collected some of them.
Oh, cool.
And I think, again, which all show that you don't have to go overboard. Now, for example, this guy, Rich Cahill, the only thing that is different about this portfolio is that he decided to split himself into 3 parts. And every time you
Oh, look at
resize,
that. Oh,
every time
it
you
changes the
refresh the
position.
page, the width and the position changes. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need more than that. This is his signature, and this looks
Oh,
really,
and
really
everywhere.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah, on every single page.
Huh.
And this is it. Right? You don't have to go and create all
Yeah.
these fancy animations and things like that. Right? Sometimes also just animations can help. You can, of course, create fancy, fantastic animation. That's wonderful. But this little thing,
Oh, yeah, just this.
there's this one little sign where you hover and then you
Wow.
have this. I don't
Even
know how to
the
describe it.
hamburger menu, like very
Right.
subtle animation. But this,
Just
yeah.
this little,
Yeah.
how would you, bobbly
Yeah.
effect thing. This is the signature. That's it. You don't need more than that. You can, of course, go and create beautiful transitions between pages, and it looks wonderful, right?
It's amazing.
But in the end, it's just this one little thing is enough
Yeah.
as well, right? Sometimes you can go overboard, I think. So if it's a corporate website like this one, it's kind of the same effect, but it's really used everywhere. and I think it's nice, but at the same time, maybe sometimes there is this option. This is what I kind of want to convey. There is this thing of being too playful.
Yeah.
And this is the problem that we've been running into, because I feel like maybe the interface we created alienated some people who used to come to the site because it was professional and trustworthy, and you know.
And
so
we get
you
it,
have
like,
to
because they are in the water business, so they wanted something fluid and liquid. Like, I get, but I also get what you mean. Like,
so it's like, I understand why it's done, right? But it's always, whenever we start bringing our humanity, right, we also need to find a way of, okay, we don't need to show too much, maybe, right? But in the end, I think that it's.
But the agency had fun. Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure about that. Yes. What else? Sometimes even just little things, like for example, sometimes you can just make somebody smile. Like for example, Michael, do you like pop-ups?
Pop-ups? No, I don't like pop-ups.
Is it like a definite no?
Maybe you will convince me that pop-ups can be cool.
I want to introduce you to the world of the most beautiful, annoying, and delightful pop-up ever. Yes, this is the time to bring pop-ups back, but not this kind of pop-ups.
Pop-up art,
right?
Go for it.
Nice pop-ups. So this is a Fork Hotel. It's a hotel website.
Okay.
It's also, illustrations, of course, also help convey personality.
Illustration is very funny.
And this is a pop-up.
Wow.
It's super annoying. I mean, it's really difficult to dismiss.
And you cannot click.
I mean, you can, right?
But it's hard. It's like a game.
It's, in a way, it's just nicely embedded in the entire experience.
That's good.
So I think that this is the point.
Oh my god.
And so
sometimes it's crazy.
Yeah, and again, this is probably takes quite some time to build something like this, right? But again, this would fit well within their personality. And sometimes we have the sites where you have to be of a certain age to access them, things like that. This is so boring. So here's another strategy. Pick the most boring element you have on the site.
Okay.
The most boring thing, right? And try to make it interesting.
Okay.
Because if people discover it, they will have this emotional connection, because they're definitely not expecting anything funny or interesting with this form. And so here's an example.
Because you did like 15 times on 15 different websites, and you're like, okay. Like
and most people lie anyway, to be honest, so make it maybe a bit easier for them to lie. Here's a nice example, where if you just click yes, you just get in, you don't notice anything.
Okay.
But if you click no, okay, so you're at least 18. And it turns the entire experience into a game.
Oh, that's funny.
Right? And so it keeps going and going and going. And so it's really interesting, so that you can embed this kind of positive experiences or nice experiences, even in places where people don't expect it at all. And I'm sure that if somebody discovers it, they will share and they will tweet and they will tell their friends.
You have to go there and
so
say no. Yeah.
And it's maybe, I don't know if we have a code of conduct here. I apologize.
Cynthia is asking, how do you know which one is going to be your signature? Like, do you have a process that you can share to? And you go through the exploding.
Yeah, and then it goes to videos. Yes.
That's very good.
I think it could be just your style. If you're drawing, it's your Illustrator.
Okay.
Right? For example, you will have a certain style. Maybe it's a way of how you draw waves, or maybe it could be the texture. Maybe it could be the color palette. Maybe you like dark tones. Maybe you like light tones. Maybe you like more like a comic style. Maybe you like more the Bauhaus style, anything of that kind. Kind of moving in between, just finding that thing that you really care about. I mean, this is what it is about. It's not about what you want to look great. Yeah. I think that if you just being authentic at this point, this is what
that's a good advice.
Really helps you. This is another example, maybe just the last one here.
So very boring form.
So very boring form.
Again.
What could be more boring than a title selector?
That's
right. The main reason why it's there is because people actually want to spam other people, if we're being perfectly honest. But seriously, in here, if they need this data, male or female customers, what you can do then is say, okay, I'm not going to have just, Miss, Mrs. and whatever. I'm just go a little bit overboard. So they have many options for you. So maybe you'd like to be Field Marshal Lord today.
Oh, that's good.
Or maybe you feel like Lieutenant Commander. I would love to be Lieutenant Commander at some point.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're getting shoes and it says Lieutenant Commander Vitaly Friedman.
Highly.
That's good. And it's actually really
it's
goes
something
all
they
the
can
way.
use. Oh my god, yeah. Oh, that's fun.
And it's like going a little bit overboard, but at this point people will be like, this is
the Duke
nice.
of oh no, yeah.
Yeah, do you feel like Duke today?
Yeah.
I feel like Duke today.
That's good.
Maybe, And so my main message here is, I guess, just pick that little thing that defines who you are and embed a little bit more humanity in it.
Mm.
Because I think, and I hope, sincerely, that this year is going to be the year when we will strike back in terms of everything from personality to humanity to
Emotion.
privacy to respect.
Okay.
And I wrote this article about respect because I think that we are missing it somehow. We lost this picture of people coming to our sites to spend the time and potentially money, dedicate their time to come to our sites, and as a result, we throw banners at them and pop-ups and annoying things and try to make it difficult for them to delete their accounts and so on and so forth. And I want these things to just be strongly fought against. I think it's about time. I'm really on fire today.
No,
I just really want to change so many things. What do you want to change?
I like to be surprised on websites. So everything there is something surprising by this. Yeah, as you said, it creates for me an attachment that is special to the brand. I remember there is this network also, Creative Mornings.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Designed by Swiss Miss,
Tina.
And they have also a lot of Easter eggs on the website. Like if you like a talk, because you can review all the talks, then you have like flying hearts like falling, you know, from the top. And every time there's something like this, I say, oh, okay, thanks for it. It's a respect too, like because I think about the web designer and the developer and say, okay, thanks for taking the time to add these surprising elements. And now in exchange, I respect more your brand and your work.
I totally agree with that. And I think that this is also the point where you just, again, embed some sort of personality or humanity into the interface, where you say, hey, like high five or things like that, where you feel it's much better than having a perfectly sterile interface with a perfect button, with a perfect angle placed somewhere according to a strict grid. Let's go off the grid. Let's
break the grid.
And I would say even further than that, when I was working with Elliot J. Stocks, he said one thing that's really fundamentally changed my way of how I perceive like design decisions. He said, if you want to make something look good, then make it either be perfect, perfectly aligned and perfect everything, or go all the way. Not like break it all the way.
I had exactly the same advice.
Right? So don't make it like 2 pixels smaller or bigger.
Make it obvious.
Exact or totally different.
Yeah. Because you have to show, like, if you make a decision to tilt something, like tilt for real and tilt everything. So that's
tilt for real.
Yeah,
this should go on a can somewhere.
Hashtag tilt for real.
Tilt for real. This is going to change the world forever. And so there are just many things which can be done.
That's good. Like this example is very good because you can just surprise the people just with the copy.
Yeah.
The design is
just interface. You don't need more than that.
More than basic. Like it's almost depressing. But just with the copy, you're like, oh my god, so smart.
Absolutely.
Good job.
And so this is also why we have all these cats and we have these options, which might seem a bit. I don't want to plug in any plugs, but I want to show just maybe one thing, where we have this membership thing, and so if you want to log in, I hope it works. So it's all tilted. But then you have keeping mount in.
Oh,
and then
good.
when you sign up for something, it says, I'm not even a cat person, I'm a dog person, and then the cat changes its outfit to a dog outfit. There are little things like this, which I think are really, really important. So it's about time we bring some craziness like this, and I don't mind it being tilted.
I like the back to the top is also tilted with a shadow, like very nice.
Yes. Well, I don't want to do promo here. At this point, it's not so important. What's important is like, I personally learned a lot.
You share the intent
along this process. Yeah, that was like a rediscovery of what it means what smashing means, and also what it means to have some sort of personality. And I think that these little details can help a lot.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And that was so. It was how long did you work on rebranding everything?
Oh, that was a very long process. We hoped to launch last September. We didn't launch this September. Oh well, last meaning like 1.5 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And so, but it was the reason for it was because we had this product, the membership, which we had to tie into everything else. So when you were logged in, you had to get, coupons and discounts and for jobs and so on and so forth. Not so important, but we had to launch when everything was ready. We couldn't just launch incrementally. So but that's this is something that I think is important. And on the other hand, I just really sincerely believe that if we want to stand out today, and it's really hard, it has become remarkably hard, because if you look around, even at this conference here, there's so many incredible, talented designers. And if you look into people using Adobe XD, people using Sketch, people using everything, tools are incredible as well.
Yeah.
And so I think if we see this wonderful, wonderful proliferation of incredible designs, however, very often they are too perfect, right? As I mentioned before. And so just go ahead and focus on something that you think matters to you and matters to your customers. It could be something like an attention to privacy, where you say, we don't store, we give you full access to your data. You can export it, you can delete your account every time, anything of that kind, right? We're committed to not using dark practices. We're committed to not using analytics, or here's access, like publicly available data about what you can use, what we are doing. Just being honest, I think at this point is the key.
Yeah, honesty and respect. I think that these are values where we can, especially in this industry where, as you said, like the tools became so powerful, and you can, and the technology too, like the browser becomes more and more expressive. Like there are so many ways to do expressive stuff that you can lose track. You can lose track of like the meaning of a web experience. And I think that coming back to the user and respecting just the user for just visiting your experience is already something.
I think so.
It's insane today when you think about it. Like
Absolutely.
the billions of websites, they come to your website.
Absolutely. And this is why I'm really, really happy, and probably my colleagues will blame me for saying this, but I'm very, very happy that Google is going to introduce a native ad blocker on February 15th, in 2 weeks, week or so.
That's impressive, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that some ads will not be blocked, probably. We'll see about that. Because I think that
coming from Google, it's
but because I think
surprising.
that if you look into all these dirty scripts and what they do these days, where you find crypto mining happening via JavaScript, then while you're reading an article,
I saw that,
that's just I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
So I totally understand and respect and embrace using any kind of content blockers that protect your privacy, and I think there is a good reason why we're using it. And in fact, on the site, on the Smashing, right now it's approximately 66% of customers using an ad blocker. So that's a big deal. We lost a lot in ad revenue, I must admit.
Yeah.
Obviously, but this is our job then to find a way to, get back on track. And this is what we do: conferences and books and so on.
Yeah, and maybe they will come with a way with certified ads. I mean, maybe.
There are some initiatives, and I think that we're going to get there. But we also need to restrict the impact and contain the impact that all those scripts and third-party scripts have. So please use an ad blocker if you can.
Cool.
Okay.
And also
you can quote me or tweet me on that. That's okay.
And we will give away some XD socks. That's for the winter.
I like socks.
Yeah, you like socks? So give away to someone in the chat. So make sure to sign in, say hi, where you're from. We are live on behance.net/live. Make sure to be there. And in 2 minutes, we will announce, we'll get the socks. Okay, you will read the name of the winner.
Me? I don't want to carry the responsibility.
I can ship you some socks if you want. Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
Excellent. I need some socks. It's really cold in Vilnius. I live in Vilnius now.
Yeah, I know.
It's really cold.
Yeah.
Snowy.
Have some snow. Yeah.
But laugh. So
I moved to San Francisco now, so no snow.
You are despicable.
No winter.
No winter for you. I like a good winter.
Yeah.
Oh, look! Now we're talking.
No,
now all of a sudden, everybody wants to have socks.
They want the socks. Look at that.
Can I type in socks as well?
Yeah, it will be with my face, but
yes.
Look, socks.
Oh, look at this! Wow.
I mean, now we need to upload the message.
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So that's excellent. But and so, my journey for this year, overall, has been to. I hope will be. Kind of going into looking into how we can improve education, how we can bring more people coming to the industry, how we can coach them. One of the major part that we do in the Smashing conference for this year, this is what we've scheduled, which is also part of this membership that we have, is to bring these new people who are often remarkable but always stay in the background. I mean, if I look at you, just you, right? You are actually quite incredible. You're doing incredible work, and maybe you're even open sourcing, right? But you always do it behind the scenes, a little bit, not getting maybe enough credit at times. So it's about time also to change it. So if you're working on something interesting, just drop us a line. Maybe you would like to speak at a conference. Maybe it could be an article, it could be something else, or we could be happy to tweet about whatever your work is. So it's not just. I always feel a bit weird when you think about, here are the speakers.
Yeah.
speakers over there, and they are, and then there is everybody else. And so this is why, even if you look at the conference, I think it's important to not have this kind of difference in height.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have a big podium.
Like the first class. Yeah,
Right.
just the setup. You mean, like
because people
the
who
scenery.
Exactly, because people who are invited to speak,
Yeah, with the lights.
they have some experience that they want to share very often, but you do too. So you deserve that spot as well, right? So please, I've been very happy to coach or somehow facilitate this access to conferences and things like that, and send a recommendation. So that would be really cool.
Okay, Tim, come, because this is the last show, so you should come.
Yes, Tim.
Tim is our community manager.
Tim is awesome.
Yeah, he's the best.
Let's cheer for Tim.
Yeah.
Tim.
Okay, Tim,
Yes.
so who will receive the socks?
So I have the lucky winner.
The lucky winner, yeah, because
Winner.
I have
We have a
having a
winner.
hard time pronouncing winner.
Winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It's Margin
Margin? Yeah.
Margin.
Van
Van
Halen.
Hagen.
Sounds very Dutch.
Yeah. And this is the iPad.
I don't try to be, I'm trying to be politically correct. I don't think it's. I think it is Dutch. Margin.
Ma-
You.
Yeah, where are you from?
Yes,
Let
please
us
tell us
know.
where
Margin,
you're from.
where are you from?
And if I made a mistake, I will send extra socks. My socks are not as good as yours. I just, No, mine are pretty,
Yeah, do you have
Just
a
regular.
smashing socks?
We don't have socks yet.
You see?
This is something we need to fix, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, next time.
Next
winter.
Next
Next winter, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, how much time do we have? Yeah, we have about 15 minutes if you want to.
I can show something, or we can just take some
we can.
questions.
Yeah.
I want it to be
No,
useful.
I said to ask questions, and what's happening with
I have tons of stuff over here, I just don't know where to jump. So, essentially, there are a couple of stories I could share,
Okay.
but there is also a ton of front-end web stuff I could share, because over the last 2 years or so,
Yeah.
I've become obsessed with components, and not only in terms of like the components we're using for the site, but just thinking about what goes into the design process for picking the best date picker, picking the best carousel, picking the best accordion.
So every time you see a new component, new
Yeah, I'm
experience,
horrible. So imagine me going in a new place, in a new store, and I think today is a nice shiny day. I think it's about time that I find the best design for a carousel.
Okay.
And I sit down in a coffee shop and I go through hundreds of websites trying
Until
to find
you
carousels.
find your top 3 of carousels.
And I try to, not to find the top 3, but I'm just trying to find the patterns, what people do, what seems to be interesting, and then I run some tests. User interviews or just usability tests
cool.
on the sites which I'm not affiliated at all with, and then I find the best thing. And so this is also like a part of the book I'm writing. But I also want it to be available for everybody. So it's, if you go on smashingmagazine.com, in the footer, you find designing the perfect accordion, designing the perfect navigation, and so on. And just yesterday, I finished a new article, which is like 13,000 words, about designing the perfect responsive configurator for everything from cars to bikes to bicycles.
That's a big one.
To cakes, to socks, whatever. So, so I can show some example of that.
Yeah.
But the rest, we had some questions here, I think.
Yeah, let's do that. I will monitor the questions. Don't worry.
Okay. Now, in the meantime, I'm just going to look them up. This is also like a part of my workshop that I'm running.
the website Tatianira is on Smashing. This is on
what do you mean?
she's asking where can I find these articles?
It's
The articles about the
yes,
components.
I can show it.
So maybe
So
you can show.
essentially,
It's on Smashing Magazine.
It's on smashingmagazine.com. If you go all the way
All the way down.
you'll find the cat. Again, the cat.
The Mozart.
Yes, and
Okay.
then here you find these perfect things. If web form accordion, date picker, slider, comparison table,
Oh,
physical
I see.
carousel. And I think that we're going to publish this, the perfect configurators next week.
Okay.
But if you look in date pickers, that took me so much time. That's
So complex.
that
A date
took
picker.
me a lot of time. And I always come up with a prepare a checklist. So
Okay.
if you scroll all the way down, I mean there are many of
Oh
them.
my
It's a
God.
very long article. So the images are
Wow.
lazy loaded. So this is the checklist I'm using. So if somebody needs to design some sort of a calendar, date picker, time picker, and one thing that really has been bothering me for quite some time, and I couldn't sleep one entire night. Imagine you want to go book an appointment at the spa,
Yeah.
for massage or something like that. In your interface, would you suggest that your user, your customer, first chooses the date and then the time, or the time and then the available date? I don't know.
Maybe you can give him the choice.
Maybe. I don't know. Because if you pick the date first, it might not have the time that you need.
You can be frustrated.
If you need to pick the time,
but if you know
then
at 6 p.m. after work, and then say, oh, these are the dates.
So these are the problems that keep me awake at night.
Wow, I see.
And other things like, let's not get even started. But if you look into it, like for example, if you look into this one, this is a date picker. It's a very unusual date picker. Do you understand how it works? So you need to type in 1,900.
Then, that's good.
It's super fast if you're used to it, right? So if you have to type the data, time a lot, date a lot, right? It's like you're typing 195.
Yeah, I get it. It's good.
6 plus 6, September 27.
Yeah.
Right? So you just, matter of tapping.
Yeah, from the left to the right.
So if you're working somewhere in a library, which is I think where this example is from, when you have to tap in something like this, it's way better than any select drop down.
But then, scrolling.
Yeah. So, and you also find interfaces like this, which is a bit more convoluted.
Okay, so at night. Okay.
But I always go and I say, okay, I need to find interesting examples. So I go through hundreds or even sometimes even thousands. If for configurators, I will never look at them again. I mean, this has been I can just give you a quick preview of the article. So just so you know what to expect. And again, you don't have to worry about the link here. It will be published soon. But this is a very long and painfully long article. Let's see if it's still loading. Sorry. There are many images. It's a very long one.
Wow.
So it's a very, 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 very long one.
Very, very long.
Right? But there are some incredible examples, I think, of what you need to keep in mind for mobile, for accessibility, for when designing an interface, 3D modeling of a preview, how do you deal with it, and so on and so forth. There are just so many things, like kitchen planners. I mean, configurators can be anything, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the really nice examples I think I have here somewhere. So
your process is that you find these experiences and you try to identify some patterns.
Yeah, and then I test them.
And you test them.
And so essentially I go to a coffee shop or so, and then I would think about, okay, let me just find 5 people.
Okay.
And I'm going to give them a coffee. So I'm paying for the coffee.
Okay.
And I just observe them manipulating that site. And I say to them, so you want to buy a helmet in that case. So go. And they do it on mobile, on a phone, and then I do it also on the desktop. And then I look into it and I make notes. And sometimes ask questions.
Awesome.
Oh, it was actually 4 days ago. Yeah, the images, there are many, many images, I'm sorry. But it gives you an idea, right? And sometimes you find this kind of interesting stuff where this is a mattresses configurator, where you can build your own mattress.
Yeah.
You can build anything on the web today, right? And then it asks you some questions. So who is going to sleep on the bed? To personalize it at all. So this is me, this is my girlfriend, right? So are you sleeping on the right side or on the left side, right? And so do you like it soft or not so soft? And it keeps going. And it's kind of cute in a way. So you can frame the conversation in a very nice way to make it really interesting and exciting, I think. So I'm sorry about all these images. They're really high resolution and stuff. But it will be coming, so good luck reading it. It was a fun little thing, but I need to recover from this. It's always...
cars.
A journey. Shelves.
Wow.
Everything.
This is fascinating.
Yeah. And so it also has a really long checklist with I think like 48 items. Yeah.
It's a full research. Look at that.
48 things you need to keep in mind when designing a perfect responsive configurator. Well, it's probably not complete anyway, but that's okay.
And how many components do you want to analyze? It's endless,
well, I have to really understand what's happening.
Okay.
I mean, with this kind of configurators, there are a couple of things that are really, really important, which we don't even think about. One of them is the next button. Like, for example, I was sitting in a company, in a car company, and we had this project where they were thinking about the configurator. This is where it's coming from. And eventually somebody comes up with an idea that, if we look at our data, we don't have even one single person buying a car on a mobile phone. Do we need to spend resources on building a responsive car configurator? it's not even worth it. And then there is one thing that's missing. You cannot rely on data. The data doesn't tell us the full picture. Because if you look into user interviews and you start talking to people, what they will tell you is the journey has started maybe years ago. For many of them, buying a car is buying the most expensive thing they ever bought in their life, sometimes. So they take it with, they take time to make this decision, to commit. And so in order to be committed, they need time. So when do people have time these days, Michael? When do they have time?
On the commute. I mean, when do you have
time? When they commute, when they're on the way, when they're in private premises.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way, right? And it's very unlikely that they're going to take a laptop to private premises.
That would be weird. Yeah,
that would be a bit strange. But
so the mobile experience, has to be on point. In this
so
case.
the thing is, they want to play. They want to be engaged with that with that product, to be motivated, so that finally at some point they actually get that thing, right? And so this is why response configurator can be also very, very, very important to really encourage this kind of the decision to actually commit to that purchase. Especially the more expensive the item is, the more likely people are to do it. But it will never show up in analytics. You can never connect the dots. Like that person looked at the phone,
it cannot be data-driven in this case.
And then, so all this stuff is kind of going into this research as well.
Oh, it's so good.
But it's fun. It's fun. I feel
should be a book at the end, with
I hope to finish it before it gets outdated. To be honest, So that will be fun.
Awesome project.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have about 5-6 minutes left together.
Perfect.
So I really encourage all of yours in our community, really if you're want to understand the web, all these new digital trends, check Smashing Magazine, and also if there is a conference. What is the experience at the Smashing conference?
So the Smashing conference is always following a particular pattern, but in different ways.
Okay.
So it's always one track. We don't have multiple tracks. It's always one track. It's a mix of different topics. Sometimes we make exceptions, like the one yesterday. In London, where it was all about performance. Most of the time it's a very diverse thing, because Smashing is very diverse. It kind of caters to everybody. At the same time, we always try to bring in some practical insights, case studies from things that people worked on, what worked for them, and specifically not only success stories. You often hear, I'm sure. In San Francisco, everybody is super successful. Everybody is super happy. The world is a shiny place, and everybody is actually working, unlike other people, actually working on a product that makes the world a better place, right? But we also, in order to get there, we need to fail, and we fail many, many, many times. So I encourage our speakers to bring in the stories about the biggest failures that they have as well, and what they learned along the way to kind of move on and get things done better next time. And so if you're interested in only one thing, like back-end performance, you probably will be bored at the Smashing conference. But if you want to see, what do people do these days? What is out there? What is the web, like in all its diversity, right? Then you will find it. Maybe you will find some of this stuff at the Smashing conference. And the next one is at your Courtyard in San Francisco. In April.
Oh, when is it? In April?
In April. If you go to smashingconf.com,
I should be there. Yeah.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
We'll just hang out and chat. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I will probably talk about the same stuff over and over again.
You should. You have to evangelize.
Yeah, well, this is what we
convince our friends. Add emotion.
Yes.
Respect the users. I love it.
And maybe just one more thing I want to say at this point.
Yeah?
Oh, I'm talking so much today. I'm so sorry.
That's good.
I think we're moving in the right direction, the good direction in general on the web today, where we think about diversity, we think about the community. There is a lot of stuff being open sourced. It's just really great, powerful thing to be a part of, and I'm really privileged to be a part of it. And I also think that we need to maybe take that step and say, okay, I can also release stuff. I can also publicly write, and I can also speak and stuff. And so seriously, if you feel like it's about time I have some stories to tell, and everybody has a story to tell. You worked on your project, that's your story. It can be interesting. It's not much different from other stories that are out there. So please do that and get out and speak. We need more diversity on the web anyway.
Great. And they say, don't apologize talking. Vitaly, this has been awesome.
Yay for Mitch. Mitch is awesome. I don't like Mitch. Oh, I like Mitch a lot.
Yeah, Mitch.
So please send socks to Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch.
If Mitch wants.
If you want socks, let us know.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, for Vitaly. Yeah,
We should
all
do.
right.
You know what we should do?
Yeah,
We should have a 24 hours conversation with
seriously.
people.
Yeah.
From all over the world.
We should try that.
That'd be interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I think that Tim isn't
And
very
follow the
impressed.
sun, you know, like people waking up in Japan and we start a conversation.
Yeah. And we just keep going.
Yeah, and we keep going.
We just keep going.
With guests, friends coming.
With beer. Well, beer, I don't know. No beer.
I mean,
We don't encourage alcohol at this
no,
session.
water. We have to stay hydrated. Yeah.
With water. Water
Yeah,
is
water,
very
water
important.
is good. Water is very
Hydrated. How do you feel about the carbonated water?
I like the experience. I don't know if my body loves it, but I like the experience. So.
Yeah. So there are two kinds
In
of
Germany,
people
you have a lot.
I've heard. Carbonated water people and water people.
Oh.
You know, just saying.
Okay.
That
I can
went
be.
too
I'm
far.
okay with both. I'm okay with
Okay.
both. Okay, so yeah,
All right.
Vitaly, what is your next adventure?
I'm going in 6 minutes. I have to leave on the bus. It's such a shock. I came all the way to see you for this.
Thank you.
Seriously, yes. So I have to leave for a bus in 6 minutes.
Okay.
And my plane leaves in 2 hours to
Wow.
Ukraine. Hello, Ukraine, if you're here.
Yeah.
If anybody from Kiev
Anyone
here,
from Ukraine?
there is a Krupa conference and I'm speaking there tomorrow. So looking forward to
Oh,
meet you.
awesome. This is
It's
great.
a nice event.
Yeah, thanks Vitaly. It was seriously awesome and
A pleasure.
so cool to end this lineup from the ground in the conference Awwwards in Berlin with it's it's a bit like this so open-minded on what we should do, like what is the next step, and taking care of this new generation and giving direction. I mean, yeah, it was
Yes.
really great.
And thanks to Michael. Everybody, please clap to
Oh,
Michael.
thank you.
Can
thank
you hear
really.
it? It's
Yeah,
like 2,000 people clapping.
Oh yeah. I
No?
can get it.
Okay, well, but I'm sure that people do.
So what's
that's cool.
next? We will jump now to the stage. So I don't know exactly at what time. It's supposed to be in 7 minutes, but maybe it will be a little bit longer because I see that there are still a lot of people here. But stay tuned because we will be live from the stage with Koi, who works for Adobe, and he has apparently exciting news. I'm not aware of them,
Yes,
but I've
apparently
been told that
exciting news.
he wants to announce something. So I have no
Well,
idea what this is, but we will see.
I was told that will
It
be
was good.
interesting.
Ah, okay, cool. Thanks again, Vitaly.
That's my
It's been a
pleasure.
bit- And
Thanks
see you in
for
San
having me.
Francisco. Let me know.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
let me know. Yeah, I
Yes.
want to come to
Enjoy.
Smashing Conference.
Maybe see you tomorrow
Yeah, and
if
stay
you happen to
tuned.
be there.
Behance.net/live. We will be back from the stage, maybe at 4, maybe 5 minutes after 4. But yeah, we will be back. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Look how many people are clapping at you.
Yeah, clap, 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 clap.
Thank you. Thanks. And I have to get to the bus.